Okay. Oh, I opened the wrong document. All right, we're just gonna go into it. As usual, talking to future LK. This is where we will start the third episode. I really should call it "You Can't Fucking Beat Faust," but I think "I Can't Fucking Beat Faust" puts it in the first person for the viewer. Uh, Faust. Ooh, Faust. This character, what does he do? So, what Faust, like, I think a place to start is most players might have the wrong idea of what Faust actually is supposed to do. So I think it's a really good place to start. Soul and Kai are pretty straightforward to talk about, like, what they do. But Faust, probably the number one misconception about Faust is a large group of the player base thinks he's a zoning type character when he is not, actually. I feel like he's a mid-range character. So what changes though is because of items. He's an item throw character too. He can. This is going into some old Persona talk, but he can change the state of the game with items. So basically, what that means is when certain items are on the screen, the opponent cannot play him like a mid-range character for a short amount of time, and he can take advantage of that, or he will be disadvantaged by that, but depending on what he has out, right? And for people who do think he's a zoner, talk to Faust players about what kind of matchups they think are annoying, and they'll say like Venom. They don't like Venom. They don't like Kai, which is odd because if he's a zoning character, for example, like Kai wouldn't be up there, but I mean, there it is. So just before going into like all of this, if you did think he was a zoner, because he does have really big buttons. He's got like this. It's pretty big. He's got like under night normals. What's the pogo? The pull. I don't know his special moves. There it is. Like moves like that, he might seem like a zoner, but he actually is not a zoner. He's not a zoner. It's easy to see because he has big moves, but he's not a zoner. So as usual, let's start with. Oh, I already have it set up. With round start, I'll do it the same way to common and uncommon round starts. So, kind of like Kai has like 3 common round starts, 3 uncommon ones. 2P is probably number 1. It's pretty fast. It's like 7 frames. I should probably have the frame data also open so I don't say some stupid shit. I'm pretty sure it's 7 frames though. To my memory, it's 7 frames startup. It has a lot of reach. And it's pretty low commit too. Yeah, I'm gonna leave this open. Usually the way you go about beating this, so that's not supposed to happen. I definitely fucked up if that happened. So this could be actually a lot of moves. Yeah, in this case it trades with my most common move, but it's not really a bad trade for him, and it stops people from. It gives people something to think about when they try to overextend at the start of the round. You'll see it a decent amount. Another one is 5k. This is like this beats some things. This could be low profile though, so I think this depends on matchup. I see them use this a lot. I think I fucked up. Yeah, so in Mila's case, this actually is pretty good, right? But probably the actual other super common one. I put 5k there just because I see a lot of Faust players use it, but the one that complements 2P is that I did too high. Shit. Is Round Start Drill. That really complements 2P. Like if they do something to try to beat 2P, the drill will beat it. If they try to beat drill, generally 2P will beat it. So those two are actually pretty common. Also, again, I do want to say, as usual, I will not talk about like backdash or back jump again, because if you think about it, I'll say this every week, but if you think about it, it's best to look at the direct engagement of normals versus normals, like moves versus moves, because usually if they, let's say he does do backdash, let's say just whoop, okay. So this is pretty much even, right? Like I whiffed, but I am not like in massive recovery, and he's just out of there. So you don't have to take that into like retreats into consideration so much. So some uncommon ones. 2H pretty uncommon. That'll hit some people's backdash, not mine though. That'll hit some moves too, but not my shit. It's pretty uncommon though. I don't see that much. Usually when I see it, I go, oh, why? But it could have a use against your character. I don't know. I think it beats Melee Sweep. Nope. Whoops. Okay, it probably doesn't beat anything from her, right? Oh, there you go. Some move I would not use. Oh, just kidding. 2D also sees some use. It actually is mildly useful against Amelia depending on who you're playing. I'm pretty sure it hits 2P. Oh no, it does not. Whoops. There we go. Yeah, it hits 2K. Oh, or it does not. And then one more. I have seen this also. That's the main reason why this won't hit that though. Oops. So those three are the relatively uncommon ones. Anything outside of that is probably just like Wild Boy, but it might apply to your character. I definitely suggest looking through this situation. Again, it's nice to have an advantage. It's nice to know first of all whether or not you have an advantage. Because if you do have an advantage and you don't know, you're probably giving up free ground. Like, it's good to have an advantage at the start of the round, you know. So we'll just hop right into neutral because this is always the longest part. Now, we have to look at it as Faust is a mid-range character, so pretty much what he does without items. Items we'll talk about last because it's something special. I mean, it's a special move, right? But pretty much the nature of his moveset is he's really good at covering specific spaces. And he's really good at it. So, like, if you look at 2H, for example, it covers a really long range on the ground. An extremely long range on the ground. Same with Far Slash, really long range. 6P, really big range above him. 5K too. He's really good at controlling a specific spot. You're going to see a really common pattern through all these moves when I look at pros and cons. A lot of them all have really similar weaknesses. A lot of them have similar strengths and similar weaknesses. So let's just start with good old 2P. So this is a good example to set the stage of how his moves work in neutral. So this move is actually let's say here's good. So it hits pretty far. It's pretty far. It's about here. I don't know why it's not hitting anymore. There we go. Wow. Okay. Hits pretty far. Decent startup. And it's a good check. Like, you can't run in on him when he does that, and it's pretty low commit. But there's a few problems with 2P. Even though it's good at what it does, there's a few problems with it. First of all, he doesn't have a way to confirm it. Like, this does not combo. Usually at the range you're using it, he can't really convert into stuff. Usually he can just do this. Usually they just do this, or they go into 2H. Because if he hits you or blocks, you know, he gets a string. The other big issue with it is less known. So, let me... Okay. Oh, whoops. I should probably... Whoops, I did too fast. Shit. There you go. So this is the other really big problem with that move, but this one's lesser known. And I've only been trying to go for this kind of thing for like the past month or so. Of course, it depends on your character how good you are at this, but if you ever look at his hitbox, like the actual hitbox of the move, not only is the hitbox pretty small, but the hurt box of the move is outside of the hitbox. So there are spaces where if they're doing preemptive checks, you can actually just kind of, if you have something that's low commit or something, you can just swing. Or if they want to try to get a space, like try to move to space, let's say, if they try to do that, that's something you might see a Faust player lose. So you could check from really far, and the worst that'll happen is that you'll trade, which is not bad, or you just hit them. It's pretty bad. That's probably the #1 problem. Especially like if I have 50 meter. Oh shit. Either that happens or I get something good. Like it's pretty tough for him. Despite that though, it's still a relatively low commit move and you have to aim for that. But it's good to know if you feel like you are getting checked a lot like this, by this. It's definitely good to know that you can just kind of tag it from a really safe space. Like, whoa. I'm a little too far. Still too far. There you go. It's pretty far. I'm hitting this from really downtown. That's really far. Okay. Next one, of course, would be Far Slash. So Far Slash. So again, you're gonna hear me say this a lot, but the space control is really good. It hits really far. With a special thing about this, compared to 2P, I mean 2P is just low commit because it just has low recovery, but this move's extra good with 25 meter. You'll see, let's say if you watch like Nage play a lot and stuff, when he has 25, he's super passive in this range because he knows he gets pretty much a safe item. If you see my inputs, it's like Far Slash Wire COS item pool. It's actually quite good. It's so like if you try to air dash over it or something, you can just wire C, air throw you, hit you with whatever you want. It's actually pretty good at that. It's a pretty decent threat with 25 meter, and the special cancel is relatively safe. There's some characters where it's not that safe. Like if you happen to play like Sid or Elfelt and you're at a decent range, this isn't really that safe. But most characters can't really hang with that. Like, if he's over there, I can't really do anything about that. The most I could do is just like try to advance, but I definitely will not get a punish, even though it's not safe. Cons though, the big one is similar to 2P, is no return. Like you get nothing off this. The best, it doesn't combo to Pogo at his ideal range. You get an item throw, which is nice, but the return is low, about 50 meter, and even with 50 meter, you're not gonna get too much off it. Also, the Gatling options are pretty limited, as you can tell. Between the range and what you could actually go into, it's not jump cancelable. Most of the stuff, you're just too far to actually do anything. So, and this point about the Gatlings, I'll go into more later, because it's pretty important to know for him. But there's that. And another one is the hitbox, hurtbox again. So, in this case, with Familia, if I could dash, there you go. Of course, not every character can do that, but you could also do like 6Ps to it. If your character has a 6P, that's good. You could do that too. That's another option. Of course, I can low profile, so I'd prefer to do that. So 2H. This is another one of those, like, again, good space control, and the return is a little higher. the risk return is a little higher, so it's definitely a risk because to control that space you kind of have to whiff it, but it's much safer to do. It's attack level 4, so for example, like I don't at this range no, right? At this range no, but most ranges you maybe have to be closer to my. Oh, yeah, you definitely have to be closer. You get like you still get like the nice item pull. You just kind of you're safer than most other options he has when you throw it out if they block it. A big issue is it's look how high you could hit him. You might want to check with your character. This is a Milia thing, but look how that is how high his hurt box is on top. That is pretty sad times. That's how high the hurt box is. That's a really big thing. So you want that's how you do it with Milia. Other characters probably have their own way to do it. You'll have to check. Next game, of course, I'll use Jump H next game though. And the recovery is really big too. So if he whiffs, it's pretty bad. If he whiffs, is you have a lot of time to like run in. So that's bad, of course. And again, it kind of goes into the other two, but it only covers a really specific area. So since you have to use it preemptively, you can't. It sucks. Like if the other guy guesses you're gonna do it, or even waits for you, they can just go over it. So even though it's really good at what it does, it also has like a really big flaw too. Okay. 6P. Oh, I didn't write down. Okay, whoops. 6P. Let me take a quick look. It has 1 to 6 above knee. It's actually not a ton, but it's above the knee. So, that is pretty good. It reaches really high. But the issue, it's like you have to hit him below the knee to hit him out of it. A nice thing about this move is a lot of stuff that would normally dodge it, that would normally be anti-airs, will lose to 6P. Like I'm throwing pin here. Well, yeah. There's a lot of stuff that would normally beat an anti-air that 6P will beat, or at least trade with. Which is really nice for him. Just because it reaches so high. Thankfully next game I'll have H-pin, so I won't have to worry about that as much, but it's good to know. Like, it's actually pretty hard to hit that move. With normal stuff that dodges anti-airs, they have to go out of their way to avoid 6P. But as usual, it has a lot of recovery, a pretty good amount of recovery. Really limited cancel options, which I'll talk about more later, and it's pretty slow. Most of the time, like in Milia's case, her 5K is really good at beating this move. As long as you have something that hits below the knees, you can hit it really easily. It has 7 frame startup, so the invoke goes away before the startup. So that's good to know. Okay, everyone's favorite move, this buddy. So drill. This move is attack level 4. That's obviously good. Lots of blocks done. Good return on hit, counter hit, and the best thing about it is it covers for 2P and 2H, and honestly Far Slash too. Like a lot of moves I talked about where I'm like, oh, it only covers a really specific range or something. J2K covers for it, which is really good. So that's how you get to guessing in neutral. Like you're not sure what he's going to do, or if you don't have a way to cover more than one move, then it could be pretty tough to fight against. But if you're talking about what's the issues with it, like how do you deal with it? So I have to jump higher. Okay. So I know this is extreme because I made him super jump, but he doesn't move very quickly in the air when he does this. So when he does it high in the air, you have a lot of time to just look at him and see what they're doing. And it also loses distinctly to some anti-airs. You should try to find something for your character that works. I think Milia, there's a bunch of stuff you can do. Oh, it's too high here. Just do like that. Oh, just the height dependent, of course. Like if I went for like that in neutral, he can't do anything about this startup, so there's that. And if you could do this, not everyone could do this, but whoops. You might be able to low profile it. You might be able to. It might just be a melee thing though, but you might be able to low profile it, depending on your character. You probably have something that just beats the move. If you don't, this matchup is probably hard for you because it's a pretty important move in his toolset. Yes, drill is not an overhead. That's important to remember. Drill is not an overhead. He could do an overhead off it, but it itself is not an overhead. So I'm not super good at doing this. I don't play him, so it doesn't matter. Okay, aerials. I guess drill is an aerial, so we're on aerials. Aerials. So this move, this jump S, is again a really common theme, but it's good at what it does. It's like Kai's jump H that we talked about last week. So really good vertical range. Really good vertical range. But similar to that move, and honestly, every move in the game that looks like this all have the same weakness. They are slow to start up, so you could just try to tag it in the startup. Every move in the game that does that kind of thing has a really specific strength and weakness. So it could be hard to anti-air this move. The way I'm doing, there you go. Like most of the time, if I try to 6P this move, I will fail. But if I try to air versus air, it will usually be my favorite because it's just slow. Whenever you see a move that hits like that, let's see how fast his jump S is. I should probably write it down. Yeah, his is 14 frames. Whenever you see a move that hits like that, it probably the weakness is probably it has a long startup. So you have to just hit it before. Usually, just jumping at it is fine. JH. So this is a really big problem, I think. There's a couple things you need to know to deal with this move. The horizontal reach is good. The way you see it here is not so big of a deal, but there you go. This is a pretty common thing. Did I do it well? Whoops. I probably didn't do that well. There you go. Like, it covers a really good range. You can do it low to the ground. When you do decide to do it high, it has really low recovery. Also, it's really good at what it does. If I had to say, how do you deal with this move? If they are kind of just doing it, it's really vulnerable from under and above. So, for example, let's say I'm at the, so that was me doing air dash pin. I lost, right? I'm gonna lose every time. There's no way I'm beating that move. Coming at it at the same height. But if I come from above, whoops. Shit. Wow, how do I don't usually get that high match. I'll make him do like that or something. If I come from above, I will win every time. I don't know how to do it though. I'm actually surprised he goes that high. Well, I can't get above him with pin. I guess it happens in matches because I'm already really high in the air after like a combo. But if you can be above or below that move, then you will always beat it. But main thing is you cannot fight it when you're on an even plane. You will lose every fucking time. And even if you block it, it's best to just let him do whatever because he just recovers too fast. Because there are times where I see people, let's say, they wait for the first one, but then they get hit by the second one because the Faust just does it again because there's no recovery. It's just one of those moves that you kind of have to respect. If you have the chance to hit it from above or below, you should do so though. If they're preempting a lot too, you can hit him, so I'm holding guard after that, so that's when I do it too slow. That's when I do it with the right timing. Okay. But it's really, that move will come up a lot depending on who you're playing against, because it's just so good at covering horizontal range. Just keep that in mind. As far as jump heavy or him jumping in general, if he jumps first, it's a big advantage for you because he's not very fast in the air. And again, not his fastest air move, but this move is pretty much his only move with no air recovery. Because really little recovery on this compared to like jump K, jump P is like whatever. So if he goes in the air first, if he hits a button, he probably can't do anything else, and he doesn't move fast in the air either. But if you're in the air first, he pretty much has free reign because he could position himself and hit you with what he wants to do, which is not what you want. Okay. JD is another one of those really hard to anti-air moves. In this case, it has land recovery on it. That's usually what I go for. It's not a lot, but oh, whoops. Whoa, that was not a lot either, though. It's kind of tough to do that. If you can do that, that's good. Usually I hit it from behind. From the front, see, just depending on my timing, I get fucked anyway. This is what normally happens when you try to hit it from the front. The hitbox is really good. If you can get behind it, that's usually the best way to hit it. Or, again, you hit it in startup. They'll use it on the way down though, so it's a really good cue. So if you're waiting for them on the ground, you could try to just jump and intercept. But you probably, unless you have a really, really good anti-air, you probably are not anti-airing this outright. I'm trying really hard. From behind, it's much easier. See how close slash fails. 2H works sometimes. There we go. Now, I guess we got 2 more in here, right? Okay. I should probably learn the input for it so I can show the burst point. Okay. Whoops. Oh, what? Oh, what? Again? Oh, you gotta pull him in first, and then... There you go. Okay. So, this move. So that's like his anti-full screen move. Basically, if he's over there, you can't really do stuff that you normally would think is safe at full screen. He'll just hit you and pull you in. This move gains a lot of meter. You saw he got to above 50. He got like 55. So he gets like about 30 meter from it, which is a lot. And the damage is pretty good too. I mean, I know it's Milia, but it's a pretty good chunk of damage. So of course, similar to most moves, he has the same kind of vulnerable hitbox issue, hurtbox issue. I mean, like I'm trading for full screen here. Probably like here, I could just hit it. No. Yeah, he's fine there. Hurtboxes, fighting games. And then of course, if you can do this, not everyone can do this, or maybe no one else can do this. I don't know. You got that on deck. You might not be able to do that though. Your character probably does that. It's still good though. It's still good though. 6 on full screen is still good, especially if you have like a good one of good return or something. And by the way, if you want to burst that move, this move is burstable. You just have to know the right spots. There it is. There it is. So screenshot this if you want. I don't know. Right here is the point where you can burst. That's where you can burst it. And to be honest, I think it's worth it. Because here he only gains like 15. That last hit, that chop adds so much meter. That's where all the meter and damage comes from. So if you want to burst, it's there. If you're aiming to do it, it should be there. And I mean, when he has 50, though, you can't burst this. Because he can just RC on reactions, pretty easy to do. It's right when he's about to chop you. No, honestly, I'm not gonna say before the chop because some people bait there. Or like some people stop preemptively, but is what I'm saying. But here, there's nothing he can do without meter at all. There's literally nothing he can do. So if I burst this, it's usually here. I don't like bursting it on the ground. And I recommend you don't burst it on the ground either. If he goes all the way and he doesn't have 50 meter, it's a pretty safe spot to burst. Okay, now's the fun part. Yeah, you might notice we didn't talk about item throw yet. I wanted to save that for last. Oh, should I do it in the order of the? No, I won't do it in the order of the outline. I'll just go by what's here. Okay. So, when you're playing against an item throw character, if you don't know the fucking items, there's a problem. There's no other way to say it. If you don't know the items, you have a problem. It is because let's say, like I was saying at the beginning, because they changed the state of the game. It's a good way to think about it. Because they changed the state of the game, you need to know how to handle each one and whether or not it's in your favor or theirs. So like some items are blatantly in his favor, some items are kind of neutral, and some items can benefit you depending on what happens. So oil. So while oil is out, he can't throw another item for a little bit. It's not that long. It's only a little bit. It's when the oil drum disappears, he can throw another item. So that's kind of good for you. The bad part is he can light this on fire, but your character can also light it on fire. So if you have a way to do that, that's good. That might be good. It also affects your movement. So if your character relies on moving quickly on the ground, you won't be able to if the oil is there. In Amelia's case, of course, she's usually really fast, but the oil stops her. It's really slippery. Again, the big one though is he can't throw another item until the cannon's gone, and this is usually how he makes it blow up. That's the most common way for him to make it blow up. There are other ways too. Next is a black hole. Black hole. I personally think, the common idea of this is that it's not advantageous for Faust, but I actually think it's very advantageous for Faust when that comes out. He gets a really easy, what is it? Yeah, right. So he gets like a. It's like a really easy whatever that is. There's probably better shit that I don't know. And for some characters, it might fuck up your combos. Like, it's actually kind of hard for Amelia to combo doing that in this game. There's stuff you can do. Can I do it? I'll try a couple times. Oops. I'll try one more time. One more time. Oh, it's kind of hard. It's been a while since I did it, but sometimes you get a good black hole combo. Can your boy do it? I don't believe in myself. Yeah, I don't believe it. Anyway, this is possible. I'm just saying. Some characters get really good stuff. Some characters get really good stuff depending on where it is. If your character has one, you should try to learn it. If not, then you should try to figure one out, to be honest. The Amelia combo movie that I can't do. I always air dash too fast. Oh, okay, I give up. Just know that that is a thing that you can do. And it also can change pressure a little bit too, so let's say that's happening, because it changes your movement, so you get like cute little... There's stuff you can do if you get to have the advantage on him. You can come up with stuff. Just experiment with it. When he gets it out, it can be a little tough to deal with, but if you have like a countermeasure ready, then you might be able to put it in your favor. I think this one's kind of even. It's definitely in Faust's favor if you don't know what to do though. Let's see, character. So this is the bomb. So usually when he does this, it's favorable for him. When the bomb is out, he can't throw another item. So you don't have to worry about that. He can't throw another item until it explodes. Usually they have like pressure they use with it. There are a couple of tricky cross-ups you might see, but a big thing to keep in mind is that you can hit him into this if you're lucky enough. If you're lucky enough to hit him into it, you get a really good combo. If he hits you into it, he gets a really good combo. So usually he just does strings into it. It controls a lot of space when, let's say, he's here. It's kind of like neither person's gonna really do very much. If that's the case, you could try to approach. It kind of just depends on what's going on. But the big thing is, he can't throw another item while the bomb is in play. Okay. Helium gas is mostly nothing. Once it's on the ground, he can throw another one immediately, and so I don't really think it doesn't benefit him. It just doesn't do anything. It's just like miscellaneous. Maybe they think it's like a bad draw. It doesn't hurt you, because pretty much it doesn't hurt him. And it's not like when it's sitting there, he can't throw another item. It's just while it's floating down, he can't. Okay, meteors. This one's pretty shitty. So this one is a really good item. It lightly tracks. He gets a lot of implied control, and if you get comboed while that's out, that is really bad. I've seen matches get turned around by that item. If you can do something, if you can hit him and make yourself involved, then you can combo him without getting hit by the meteors. And depending on like where the tracking is, you can try to combo him outside of the meteors. But overall, he has a really big advantage. You want to try to get away from where he threw it. So if you get on the other side of him, that is also really nice if you have that. but overall, it's a really, really hard move to deal with. So let's say I gotta wait in that case, but whoops. If you could also do something that'll move you forward a lot, so here I'll probably get hit, right? Yeah. This might be too slow. Yeah, I think it's just. Oh no, it's not. Yeah, in that case I was spared because I was moving forward. So your options are not so much, like I said, if you can switch, if you can get behind him, move forward in general, or do something that's like invul and hit him, then all those are fine. If not, then all you could do is just try to keep yourself safe. He just gets a big advantage. That one is a good item for him though. When he throws it, he can't throw another item until it comes down. Oh, I'm looking at the list as if that matters. Okay, hammer. This one is really good too. This one is the main benefit more than anything else is it has a lot of stun. And if he throws it when you're coming at him in the air with whatever, you're in trouble. That move really sucks to get hit by, counter hit by. Yeah, like if that happens, that's bad news for you. Depending on how high your stun is or how low your stun is, I think it's usually two hammers and a combo, and you're probably just stunned outright. That is also a really, really good item for him. There's no real downside to it at all. Okay. Okay, Chibi Faust, Mini Faust. This item is a really big pain in the ass, so I always thought this is one of his best items. First, he gets to throw an item again as soon as it's on the ground, and it just kind of just walks across the screen, and it'll walk in whatever direction the opponent is, and when it reaches you, it does that. It can be really annoying depending on who you play, but also depending on who you play, you might be really privileged and have a really easy answer. I'm pretty sure Johnny has a super easy way to deal with this. Why am I going to his team when it's Faust Day though? There we go. So for example, Milia is like not super great against that move. Like she's mobile, that's the best, but okay. This is fine. Oh, he can't do it to the air one. Oh. Okay, there you go. I didn't know he couldn't hit the air one. Some people can hit it out of the air. So he has a pretty... so that's not as good as I thought. I thought somebody could hit it out of the air. I swear to God I saw somebody hit this out of the air, but maybe I'm wilding out. At least you can get hit by it. You can like try to jump into it, and if you air IB this, it'll be very helpful because you recover very quickly. In the case of the ground though, if you're lucky enough to have a non-committal answer there, that's really good. It doesn't have a lot of block stun, so depending on how you do it, especially if you air IB it, you'll be able to move pretty quickly. The real nightmare is when they get like, so like they're controlling and then they get another one. This sucks a lot. That sucks a lot. If that happens, I mean, it's just luck, so you can't really... Whoops. Okay. You can't really do anything about that. Let me go back to Milia. Yeah, I always thought like that's one of his best items. Like probably Mini Faust, Hammer, and Meteors I thought were his best items overall. We're not done though. Okay, so this is the poison. Not really much. This item's actually, it's kind of slept on. Like, first of all, a big thing is he can't get hit by his own poison. With a lot of his items, he can get hit by. Like, he can get hit by his own bomb. He can get hit by his own platform, but he can't get hit by his own poison, which is really good. Also, you can throw another item as soon as it touches the ground, which is pretty good. It lets him extend pressure. It lets him, you can combo into it. It's all around a pretty, it's a really slept on item. It's actually pretty good. It's not as threatening as other moves. Like, if he gets it in neutral, it's whatever, but at the same time he could throw another item as soon as it's on the ground, so it won't threaten you from full screen, but let's say he gets another roll pretty quickly. And when he has it in front of you, it's good. Like, it's a hitbox. It could be comboed into pretty much for free. It's a pretty good item. I don't think it's the same level as Hammer or Mini Faust, but I think it's a good item. And you don't have to really think about, like, what do I do about it. It's either on you and rush down or combo, or it's just in neutral, not doing anything. He just rolls again. Okay, food. I think the menu has 2 foods in there. So, food will heal you. You can't see it. Food will heal you, but the big thing about this, when he gets this, it's bad for him when he gets this. Mostly, in my opinion, it's bad for him because he can't throw another item while the food is on the ground. So you can get it if you need it, but you could also not get it on purpose so he can't throw items for a little while. A pretty viable strategy also. It's totally up to you though. Like, I've won games because of the food. I got the food. I have lost games because he got the food. I've made life really hard for Faust because I didn't let anybody get the food. This one, like, at a basic level, you might think, oh, it heals, it's good, but Faust doesn't like that move because if it's just sitting there on the ground, he can't get another item, and that's a really big deal. Compared to, like, the poison we just talked about, where you can just throw another item immediately, he can't throw another item. Donut is the same thing as chocolate, so. Oh, they call it jump pad. So this is I call this a platform, I guess, but I guess it's a jump pad. So this move is unblockable, but it does no damage. So he has unblockable setups with it, where he just pretty much combos you. If you have if you have meter, you can blitz it. Except I am not a good fighting game player, so I can't do it. There you go. I forget actually if you could throw another one. No, you can't. Okay, you can't throw another one, but it gives an unblockable for him. It's not that bad. Usually what ends up happening is, let's say this happens, usually not that much actually happens. It will really depend on your character how much that platform being there affects you. If you have a mobile character, you probably won't care that much. If your character can't move around that much, you probably do care about that a lot. But at least it's safe to say you won't die specifically because of it, because if he doesn't combo you, it does no damage. Okay, I think we have one more. Yeah. 100 ton is another unblockable one. Of course he's not going to be able to throw another item because he'll just get knocked down if he tries, so. It's the same kind of idea too. It'll knock you down. It has a special knockdown time though. I don't really know how to describe it really. But he sets up unblockables with it too. Usually this he does with drill, if I remember correctly. It's not a totally bad item though. Okay, let's take a little break. That was a lot of info because of the items. Does anyone have Any questions? Of course, neutral took the longest part because he has so much shit. Do you have any questions about that stuff? Before I move to his rushdown, of course we're going to deal with defense next, and then his defense, which is actually pretty short, so this is easily the longest part of this, because neutral is really important against him. If I had to give a summary of that, like a too long, didn't watch, he's good at covering space, but there's a lot of dead zones. But he can cover his dead zones with either drill or dice rolling an item, and then the various items. If I had to quickly summarize it. If no one has anything to say though, I'll just keep going. I'll keep going. Probably only have a couple minutes between this and defense. I'm guessing that I'm taking the silence as everyone understood. I'm gonna move on in a second. Okie doke. Okay. So I'm gonna switch stuff. So Faust offense. So I actually think his rushdown is one of his strong points. He has a pretty good rushdown game. His damage is I know you don't typically think of his damage as being high, but he does pretty decent damage. Especially depending on your character. Like he does a lot of damage to Milia. She has no defense. He hits kind of hard. So if I had to, oh, you know what I should do for these, for the outlines too? I should put the Gatling charts in there. I didn't put the Gatling charts in the first two. Anyway, so Faust has a pretty good rushdown game, but the thing, I think when people play against Faust, they let him get away with a lot of stuff that he shouldn't get away with. The primary thing being, there's two issues with his rushdown. Even though he has overall pretty good rushdown, the two main issues with his rushdown is he has really limited Gatling chains, which I talked about before, and a lot of stuff that he likes to do into, like, let's say item toss is unsafe. Now, where he compensates for this is he has a couple of moves that have a ton of options off it, so it's hard to deal with, like you have to guess. But the majority of his moveset, he can't really do very much. Or if he wants to stop you from doing something, he has to really commit to it. So for example, 6P is one of the best ones I could use as an example, because this move has no Gatlings at all. Like, he has no Gatlings after this. at all. You see me just pressing a bunch of stuff. I can't do anything. He only has special cancels available off this move. So it's tough for me to watch other people play against Faust and let him do like that kind of thing. I should put items back on random. Now, what's the best? I need to think of what's the best way. Okay, I'll do it like this. I will. So first, I'll talk about moves that have limited Gatling options. So 6P is a big one. So something like this, of course, depending on the item that he gets, maybe it's legit. But something like 6P item pool is not legit. He has to actually stop you from mashing. He needs to do pogo. That's the only way he can hit you. And it's like I said, it's a pretty hard call because once he goes into pogo, the things he can do, like his option set is really limited after that. 6P is probably one of the extremes. Another one is 6H. He again is another move where he has no Gatling options off it at all. He has the special cancel, but that move is attack level 4, so it's different than 6P, which is attack level 2. So 6P has less block stun. 6H into special moves is more legit, but it doesn't mean you can't challenge. So, for example, he does like. So here, you actually. Can you delay? I forget. He would have to delay to. Oh, whoops, Amelia. That's the only way he would catch mashing. Usually just kind of go like that. So actually, when I block 6H, I hit a button pretty much all the time. Because if he does an item pull, I will not be able to hit him, but at least I will not let him do more things. If you have a 5-frame move that hits far enough, which I do not, I'm not that privileged, you would be able to do, am I right? 5? I think it's 6 actually. You would not be able to do anything. What about fishing pole? Literally nobody does it. Nobody does it. I would think, I'm not actually sure what happens when he does that, because I didn't check for it just because nobody does pull. The best way for him to frame trap somebody, because again, to be honest, most characters can't punish that. Most characters can't punish that at all. Because of the attack level, as opposed to something like that where you could actually hit him, like he gets punished for doing that. He would have to do something to stop you from doing that. But 6H is safer to do there. Bar Slash is another one where there's not a lot. It's the same kind of thing. It works the same as 6P. Sorry, not 6H as well. And you can delay a decent amount, so you can stop people from outright mashing, depending on the character, of course. Generally, attack level 2 moves with low attack levels can be challenged a lot. Like, he can't really do them. He has to use pogo generally to discourage you from mashing. And depending on the move, the delay cancel window will be different. So, well, in level 2 move's case, he could just do it. But in the for 6H's case, he has to delay a lot because it has more block stun. The last one would be 2H, which is, you see this situation come up so much in matches, where because it has a lot of block stun, not everyone. Well, because it has a lot of block stun and has pretty limited cancel options, like he has that, right, I guess. Generally, he's gonna cancel the special move. So depending on your character, you might be able to like OS the 2H by blocking it during a normal guard or an FD or something. You might have to check though. Amelia can normal guard and OS dash, and he has to delay pogo to hit her out of her dash, which usually doesn't come up. So usually what the real common thing is that he'll get the item pull and then do something. It's like a small guessing game after the item pull. But all those moves, 2H, 6P, 6H, and forward slash, they all have the same thing common. They just don't have a lot of options after it. They have way less options than you think after it. So you can, especially depending on your character, if you play like Sin or Elfelt, if you're right, you get such a big fucking return. It's actually really scary for him to do those moves into like item pull and stuff, because they will get a full combo. Like they could win off that kind of thing. Like Milia, you just kind of get like a far slash, whatever. But if like Sin gets far slash or Alpha gets far slash, it's a big deal. Now there are other moves he has that are really threatening because he has a lot of options. So that's 5P, 2P, 2S. 2S one's the scariest, and 2D. Even though 2D doesn't Gatling into anything, it's like Kai. It's jump cancelable. So he has the special cancels, and he can jump and do stuff. So that specifically makes that move scary. 2S is, I think, one of his scariest moves in pressure, just period. Because he has a lot of Gatling options, a lot of good Gatling options. He has delay cancel, he has jump cancel, he has special cancel. He has a lot of shit you can do off 2S, so that move is really scary to block. And then 5P and 2P just because they go into a lot of stuff. It's just they have a lot of options off it, I should say. All those moves have that in common. They have a lot of options, and you're just not really sure what he could do, as opposed to 2H, 6P, 6H, forward slash, where he has barely anything he could do. He has a really limited option there. Really, really limited options there. I feel like... Okay. Does anyone have questions about that before I keep going? Because one thing I didn't mention was like drill and pressure. Drill and pressure and like his drill canceling. But that goes in line with stuff he has a lot of options off of. So like when you block jump 2K, like it's an attack level 4 move that has a ton of blocks done, and he's just in your face. Like there's nothing you can really do. He can just do stuff. Same as when you block this. Oh, I'm bad. There you go. Like that's just an overhead. But if you block it, he's advantageous too. I felt like it was more important to talk about the stuff that people let him get away with that isn't actually that legitimate. Than the stuff that he can do a lot of things off of. Because he does have a bunch of stuff he can do a lot of things off of. Yeah, I agree. I mean, if Milia has 50 though, she gets game-winning conversion maybe, so. There's I guess the outline I'll post, there'll be a little addendum. I remember back in like October, I looked at a bunch of moves into, especially the moves with limited Gatlings. So the Gatling chart will be there for him too, where what happens when he does this move into like this special move and stuff. And the case is pretty much, if it's an attack level 2 move, he's really minus actually off a lot of his, especially off item pool, he's really minus. So if they're doing a lot of that stuff, it's not real. It's straight up not legitimate, especially off those. So 2H, like I said, there is a guessing game off it because it is an attack level 4 move, but you can do stuff. 6P, he only has special cancels available straight up. And if you also have the extra awareness to know what item is out, like let's say if there's a food, like a chocolate or donut on the ground behind him, or he threw it off screen, and he does 6P, and they autopilot 6p item pool, he will just do this, and you hit a button. So you would have hit a button anyway. So it's good to know that you even have that option available. 5p autumn throw is legit. 5p is one of the moves I said has a lot of threat behind it. The moves I specifically said are less threatening / you should try to see if you could do something, like check what you could do, because he does not have a lot of options of them. Or 6p, 6h, fire slash, and 2h. Technically 5h is 1 too, but you don't see it that much in his pressure. The ones that have a ton of options are 5p, 2p, 2s, and 2d. 2s is probably his scariest move outright. He could just do a ton of shit of 2s. 5p item throw itself is not legit, but 5p has a lot of stuff he can go into. Okay. So when you are rushing him down, there's actually not that much he can do. He's pretty soft on defense. 2K has all the options too. I didn't mention 2K because he's usually not canceling into that other stuff. 2K is a really good move though. Since he's using it just to set up, like that I don't even feel like is worth talking about, because that's just a move. What are you gonna do about that? You're not gonna do shit about that. The other stuff, there is stuff you can do, but they just have a way more options they could do compared to like 2h, 6p, 6h, far slash, where you can't do anything. Again, like I'm just gonna say for reference, moves like that, moves like his 2K, I probably just usually will not talk about them very much, because you can't. There's nothing you can do. Like there's really nothing you can do. I mean, I guess if you know it's coming, you could do wake up blitz. I don't know. Like, there's not really much you can do against this. This move's mad good. Some moves you just have to hold, but it's not a big deal to hold that move. So okay. Yeah. What was I saying? When you're rushing him down, he can't really do much. His fastest move is 6 frames, so you might get to do special stuff to him. I think that is worth checking. There's actually not that much stuff I could talk about as far as rushing him down. The number one, probably the two, I guess 3 things. One, he's really small when you rush him down. Actually, his animation is pretty funny, huh? So some things might whiff. This will work when he's blocking, but if he's not blocking, it'll just go right over. His 2p is also really low. His 5p is his fastest move, is 6 frames. You might get to do something special. Milia gets to do some special shit to him. Maybe your character can too. And then one more thing. How do I do this? One last thing. His dead angle has a really big dead zone. Let me see if I can. There we go. Okay, do it like this. Probably not. Whoops. Yeah, there you go. His dead angle has a really big dead zone. So you may or may not be able to do something about that. But that's mostly it. That is it. Does anyone, let me go back to the stream chat. Oh, we hit the big 5-0 before. Does anyone have any questions or anything you want to say? 5D's Invincible Strike. Okay, that is worth mentioning. I think honestly, when Faust do that, it's mostly the dumbest shit. Like when I see a Faust player do that to me, I just think, wow, this guy's so dumb. But I do think it's actually worth mentioning. Did I talk about doors? No, I did not talk about doors. I don't think it's. As another thing, I don't think is super important about fighting him, compared to stuff that people have problems with.